Welcome to the Emperor's New Podcast, where we explore every corner of the Emperor's New Groove averse. Uh, Today, I am Micah Hirsh, and today I'm joined by filling in for Shelby, but also they were going to be here either way because they're relevant to the subject of this episode. Charlotte Driftwood.
Was that a verse with an I or an A? Because I am not Emperor's New Groove averse. I'm purely pro Emperor's New Groove.
And I am also joined by Marla.
Hello.
And Sophie Hurtado. Did
Hi.
I pronounce your name right?
Yes, you did. You did.
Okay, good.
You can just
and
call me Sophie if you want to make it easy.
Well, I will, but I wanted to do like a little introduction first.
Sophie and whom? Just so I'm committing it to memory.
Marla.
Sophie and Marla. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Today we are doing a self-indulgent episode promoting The Road to Kuzcotopia Chapter 1. I'm probably not going to... I might just do Chapter 1 and then the finale because I don't think I want to dedicate 5 whole episodes of this podcast to it, but maybe.
You could. Yeah. And who what? So then what am I doing here, you said? I'm relevant?
Yes, you are the I'll get out a list here.
I'm the producer, co-director, co-writer, voice of Miguel and Cusco. Charlotte Driftwood.
And editor.
That's right. And sound designer and casting director.
Oh, you froze. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Voice director. Yeah, Micah and I made a movie who think maybe you don't have what it takes to make a.
You're cutting out some. I don't know what the.
It says the internet's unstable. I'm gonna turn off the camera. Sorry.
That's okay.
I know.
Uh-oh.
You enjoyed looking at my beautiful face. Maybe you should turn yours off as well. So just so I'm using the least bandwidth possible.
I will turn mine off. Because then I'll just release this as a normal podcast episode and not on YouTube because I don't think anyone wants to see my name.
Oh.
unless I accompany it, unless I edit it with like visuals to accompany it or something.
Or just like you could just do a thumbnail. That's what people expect from looking up audio formats on YouTube. Sorry, I'm doing a speed test right now. I'm seeing what's up with my internet. I also have other internets here in case this one's a dud today.
So
Charlotte Mexican internet fidelity.
Most of the work except for the drawing.
Well, the drawings I would say is the bulk of the work. Like the most of the work part of it took me a month or so, and the drawings took you what, 6 months?
About 8 or 9, but that's not all of it is out yet. Not all of the drawings have been released yet, so that's the entirety of what I have so far.
Yeah. And it does take 9 months to incubate such a baby. But the reason Marla and I said I was going to commit it to memory. Marla and what? Sorry.
Sophie.
Okay. The reason Marla and Sophie are joining us today is because I think they just watched it for the first time.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So what'd you think?
I had fun with it, for sure.
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. You guys did a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, is there anything you want to say to lead the discussion, or should I just start rambling about the work we did, Micah?
If anyone
I'm
has,
trying to think about,
go ahead.
I'm still trying to think about first impressions that I can give out in a non-awkward way, seeing how this is being recorded with a live audience again.
It's fine. Podcasting. Nah, it's all good. You just say the words that come to your mind, and part of podcasting is editing it later to make you make sense. But so I'll just say that we did something a few years back, Platypus's New Groove. Yep. It was doing pretty well view-wise, and Micah sent out a DM that was like, if you have any ideas for, other crossovers we could do, and I Well, my favorite movies are the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and um, Road to El Dorado was written by the same screenwriters, and I like to joke that it's kind of the prequel because it deals with the conquistador Hernan Cortez, which Curse of the Black Pearl also sort of does. So I was like, look, if there's anything that was made to cross over with Emperor's New Groove, it was the other pre-Columbian Mesoamerican animated buddy comedy from that exact same year. Because when DreamWorks first started out, part of their strategy was to release a movie like 6 months before Disney did that was vaguely the same. So people would see something in the marquee that they're like, wait, didn't we already watch that? And then that would ruin Disney's sales, was the ultimate goal. That's why you have Ants and Bugs Life. That's why you have Road to El Dorado and Emperor's New Groove. That's why you have Deep Impact and Armageddon. That was part of the evil, petty strategy that Jeffrey Katzenberg was pulling at the time. But he's not in power anymore. Daddy Jeff ain't watching. We can make them kiss.
What has Katzenberg been up to, anyways? I haven't heard much of him since that whole.
I
What was the
think
name of that?
The last time I heard him, he was talking positively about AI, so I don't really care what he's up to.
No. Yeah, he had a streaming app that didn't work, right?
Yeah.
Quibi that lived was
Quibi.
very short.
Quibi. He's disgusting.
If you want to see him be almost mauled by a lion sometime, watch Waking Sleeping Beauty.
Well, that's interesting. In the jungle.
Yeah, they show behind the scenes footage of Lion King at one point, and they have a real lion in the room with all the artists and everything, and Jeffrey Katzenberg tries to like pet it or something, and it tries to attack him.
Oh,
would have
that's
been
funny.
Yeah. So, so we said that, why pick one or the other? We always felt that
Both
is good.
Indeed.
Micah said it with me. That was great. So, Micah, I swear the story for this thing was just sent in one long string of messages to Micah that I sent. I was like, all right, here's how I kind of see the story going. And when I got the first draft of the script and realized how close it stuck to my original pitch, I was like, oh, that better have been a good idea, because if not, I'm very stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I haven't published anything per se, at least not in a long while, but I have done the occasional fan fiction thing, and sometimes it does just kind of like come out in large streams of consciousness, and it's like, is any of this good? And I don't know if I want an answer to that.
I made sure that like I wanted to stick to Charlie's draft, and then I did a treatment sort of thing where I took all the ideas and sort of put them into a 3-act structure, basically. So I made sure that like I made everything work while still sticking to what Chrlotte had pitched.
Yeah. So, what was my pitch? My pitch was, well, there's a couple things happening here because, okay. For those who don't, are you guys familiar with The Kingdom in the Sun?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
So that was a Prince and Pauper story with Pacha being identical to the Emperor, whose name was Manco. So we have a twin brother Manco come in that's supposed to kind of be recycling the unused elements of the Kingdom in the Sun story. Then on top of that, what was it? The actual story of how Francisco Pizarro took over the Incan Empire was that the military was distracted by a civil war between two twin brothers, arguing who was the proper heir to the throne. So that was mixing the real life history with the story of Kingdom in the Sun, with Kevin Kline, who voiced Tulio in the original film, was in a movie called Dave, where he plays a person that's identical to the president who has to pose as the president. And the movie got referenced in Wild Wild West, his first film with Kenneth Branagh, Miguel, where Kevin Kline plays both the main character and the president, because the implication being, no matter what movie he's in, he must also play the president. So that's why Tulio is the one who pitches the plan as happening to himself, as in, like, Kevin Kline is going 3 for 3 with Prince and Pauper stories, but then it becomes Chell's plot instead, because then it's becoming Kingdom in the Sun with a dash of Mulan. And so my idea was kind of, if I reference movies that people, not reference, but, like, you know, Stranger Things homage style, the way Stranger Things has E.T., movies that people store in the same part of their brain as these two animated films from the 2000s, my idea was that people would be like, this is the same thing to me because it's activating the same part of my brain.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And one thing that's subtle that no one's necessarily watched in the first watch through, but the sense of humor of the film changes depending on which character's on screen. Because the Emperor, the El Dorado characters would never do a fourth wall break, you know, and they're not usually scored with, like, Hanna-Barbera stock sound effects. So, like, there's the another idea in this is that if Emperor's New Groove characters are on screen, it's Looney Tunes. If El Dorado characters are on screen, it's vaudeville. It's a stage play.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to you guys' tastes we were able to capture the authentic voices of these characters.
Oh yeah, that came through pretty well,
Yeah,
especially
no.
with the Emperor's New Groove cast.
Yeah, the El Dorado cast, I think we kind of, they're based on sidekicks in Disney movies. Like, Miguel and Tulio have more in common with Timon and Pumbaa. Chell has more in common with, well, Charlotte from Princess of the Frog comes to mind, but that obviously wasn't out yet. But, you know, you never have the sexually liberated girl as the main girl. She can be the second girl, is how it works in puritanical children's media.
Fingers crossed we someday get a Disney princess with the same vibe as Shell at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, well... Well, if Charlotte marries that child, as we saw at the end...
Oh no, please.
Yeah. Well, so the El Dorado characters, the problem with inserting them into a Disney movie is they do immediately fall, like, no matter, you could try to write it yourselves, they will immediately fall into Disney sidekick roles, because that's, like, what they're born to do. The only reason they don't fall into those roles in their own movie is they're the main characters, they're the driving force of the plot. The second you put them in a movie with Disney characters who have more to do, they immediately... So, like, here's how I see it, though. The whole movie is kind of a fourth wall joke, because the Emperor's New Groove characters have franchise fatigue. You know, there's been Parks representation, there's been an animated series, there's been the sequel movie, Kronk's New Groove. So, you know, when Yzma's like, I have a new plan, Kronk is like, we're still doing this.
We're still doing this.
Versus, I see it as the El Dorado characters are kind of regressing into their most convenient comedy versions of themselves, because they never got the the Saturday morning cartoon. They never got the opportunity. They're turning into their Emperor's New School Sonas is all.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, the way I like to describe also is like sort of this doesn't work in like because the movies I'm comparing them to came in the reverse order, but like this is like the Shrek 2 to Eldorado's Puss in Boots, basically.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that, absolutely. Shrek, also by Rossio and Elliott. I'm trying to just fill that air until you guys can phrase thoughts about this movie, but at a certain point, I don't want this podcast to just be
All right.
tooting my own horn.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, am I to understand? Is this more so the brainchild of you, Charlotte, or you, Micah, or is it like a combination of you're both? Okay.
So I wrote in a stream of consciousness, just wrote out how I expected the story to go. Micah sent more of a 3-act structure plot outline of like this happens, then this happens, then this happens, still sticking pretty religiously to my original story pitch. And then mostly how the writing process worked is Micah would write the first draft, and then my comedy partner Ella and I would go in and add stupid jokes. And who was the other person doing it? DJ?
Rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
Yes.
Sorry.
Who I
And then
also
Rhapsody also came in and added dumb jokes when Ella and I were busy.
Yeah. Like Lominos.
He added Lominos. What was the one from this one that I came up with that I was really proud of?
Well, which one?
There's one in here that's like, that's okay, yeah. I know what it was. It was La Moss Lemeria.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
La Moss Lemeria was me. Lominos was Raps. The Clippy was Micah.
I remember Clippy.
Yeah.
Go away. There are scenes in Emperor's New School where Isma uses the internet. Although I am realizing if there are people who are unfamiliar with the animated series, this does come across as us coming up with the internet, which feels crazy if I think too hard about it.
I do remember watching episodes here and there of the Emperor's New School, not enough to like have all of the lore and details committed to memory, and it's been quite some time anyway. I do remember at least one instance where Yzma was at some kind of computer, something about polishing her resume. So I know the internet is a thing. The internet rather. That's
the computer that we use. I mean, like I traced over.
Yeah,
I know, cheating. I know. The computer.
You had a whole movie to draw on. It's not like we're avoiding copyright infringement from these movies and this show in any other way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I did grow up with the show, but it's been like years since I've watched an episode. But I can remember a bit.
Yeah, sorry. The last time I watched an episode was December 10th because they aired it on Disney XD.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's crazy that you still have a cable plan in 2025.
Well, I don't. I have YouTube TV, which is like cable.
Right.
I have Xfinity cable, but that's not really,
So,
same thing.
So you said especially the New Groove characters we captured the voice of. I tried to explain why the Eldorado characters might be a little flanderized and why that's okay. But what specifically do you feel we captured about the way that the Groove characters interact and feel?
I generally think you captured Kuzco's voice and mannerisms really well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the voices were very like close to the original characters. You guys did a really great job putting a lot of the emotions in. I did really like your you voiced Miguel or Tulio, I don't remember.
Miguel.
Okay, yeah, I actually really liked your Miguel.
Thank you. Gracias.
Yeah, you sounded unrecognizable as Cusco. So when I put in the credits that you voiced him and Tulio, I was like, oh wow, okay,
Miguel.
that's awesome.
Miguel.
Miguel,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, those were one thing that helped was those were 2 different recording sessions. So you know.
Okay.
But another thing was I got really method. I take voicing existing characters very seriously. Most of my income is from I dubbed the Gravity Falls comic and put it all for free on YouTube. And because Google prioritizes Google results before results anyone else owns, the YouTube video I did comes before the Barnes & Noble, or which is like definitely a crime. Like I definitely stole money from Disney. Good. But so yeah, that's kind of my career, is matching characters to the extent someone wants them to be matched. So it's something I really try. I really try when I'm trying to capture a performance that a different actor did. I see it as like if you like buying the same paints as your favorite painter. Like this is the tool book that actor used. How can I find the same tool book? How can I build a similar set of tools to create an acting performance with? So the way I did that with Cusco, I watched a couple things David Spade did, but the most important for me was his stand-up, because these are his jokes completely. Like he wrote them, he's delivering them, the delivery is all him, there's no director or anything. And so what I tried to do was deliver the lines in the script how I thought they would sound if they were jokes from David Spade's stand-up specials. As well as, the more I watched clips of him, the more I started to suspect that he's high in every public appearance.
Interesting.
And I found a smoking gun as I heard him mention an anxiety disorder, and I'm like, okay, I'm calling that confirmed. So I was smoking I was smoking weed while recording Cusco. I had tried to deliver it as David Spade's stand-up, and I think it got the job done.
Yeah.
So method acting, basically.
Right, yeah. And then similarly, the entire vibe of Road to El Dorado is that even for things that would make this a difficult way to record, like the song, Kenneth Branagh and Kevin Kline were always in the booth together. And you could tell based on the way Miguel and Tulio talk that at a certain point, they just kind of gave up on looking at the script too hard. They're just kind of rambling over each other. And that's kind of the entire humor of El Dorado. So I had done that recording style with Dalton, who voiced Tulio in the 22-minute episode of Well Abridged Me Princess, my Zelda Abridged series, where he was Captain N, the Game Master, and I still was Link. So I knew that was something Dalton and I could pull off, as well as I knew Dalton's not much of an impressionist, but like he has the Tulio vibes. I thought of this as like if I was casting Tulio not as a voice match, but for a high school play or a cosplay group, Dalton would be my go-to. And we already have this rapport where we could kind of play off each other like that. So we did one take just reading the lines as is, one take where we were a lot looser and riffed with each other and interrupted each other and finished each other's sentences, and then one take where we minimized the script and tried to get from the same point A to the same point B from memory, with Micah reading the other characters to try to help us through that. And then I mixed those 3 takes together, so there's one with no improv, one that has a little bit of ad-libbing, and one that's completely improv. And Tulio and Miguel's lines were made by... I thought that's what was... I did study Kenneth Branagh a little, not as hard as I studied David Spade.
Spade?
Yeah, I thought what was more important about... Tulio and Miguel was their dynamic. I think that really is where the characters lie more so than the exact voice they have.
Right, you definitely captured their banter pretty well. And for what it's worth, I definitely buy Miguel, Tulio, and Chell as a threesome in this.
Oh yeah, a throuple. Yeah, this is my boyfriend Miguel and my girlfriend Chell. Yeah, no, I right. It's subtle because the original movie is a lot of coding and not explicit, and I just wanted this to feel like it was the same writing style. But I basically our idea was Miguel is gay, Tulio is bisexual, and.
Yes.
And Chell is just comfortable with the fact that her boyfriend already had a boyfriend when they met. Is how we're writing them. And I love the bit where they're holding hands. That bit makes me
I didn't catch that. That's so cool.
Oh, you gotta look at the screen when you're watching videos, it turns out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a
I did watch it. I did watch it.
So when Chicha and Pacha start kissing, Tulio says, "Get a room," and then Miguel raises their hands to show that they've already been holding hands while he's saying that, and Miguel says, "Hypocrite!" And then we cut to my favorite drawing in the movie, the faraway shot where they're still holding hands and they look like little gingerbread men or stick figures or something. It's so funny. It makes me laugh every time. Micah! Hey, Jamie, pull up Miguel and Tulio holding hands.
I can do it.
I can do it if you can't, Micah.
All right.
Hang on. Do you want me to share it here, or do you want me to share it in the?
Yeah, just share the screen and the audio and pull up that moment. Sorry, I want to see them be gay. The person who missed it deserves to see it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to.
Yeah.
I want to add that I really enjoyed Ella's take on Yzma. She really captured the kid's vibe really well.
Yeah, Ella's been my comedy partner for 10 years. I adore her. She's like one of the funniest people I've ever met in my specific exact sense of humor. And she was writing the script with me because I don't like writing without her. Like, writing is a thing I do with Ella. That's like, it wouldn't be fun without Ella because that's the thing I do with Ella. So I brought her in on this to help write it, and we would like read through to make sure what we wrote made sense, and just be like, all right, you read this character, you read this character, and she would read Yzma, and I like told Micah, like, her Yzma in those readings of the script is so good, we should just give her the role.
Mm-hmm.
She was fun to direct.
Oh yeah, I imagine. In the credits, and
who voiced Pacha, in my honest opinion, is like an amazing actor. Like, I noticed the energy in the movie picking up whenever Pacha was on screen, and when he joined us for the recording session, he said, by the way, I also do it Crunk. Just when he joined the call, that was like the first thing he said. And I was like, well, Micah's already doing Crunk. And when we released the trailer, a lot of people complained about Micah's Crunk. A lot of people complained about the audio quality. I told him, like, don't pay him any mind. But Micah said the more I listen to it, the more I'm bothered by it. And I'm like, I still love your Crunk. But what we could do is we could get Daniel, who's a really charismatic actor, to come in here, record Crunk also, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to treat it as it's one actor and just pick whichever take fits each line best, and some of them will be you. Because I still like Micah's Crunk and wanted him to be in it, but I also like wanted the energy to pick up in those scenes a little bit, and like I just think the more Daniel was in our movie, the better a movie it was going to be.
I am sharing the screen.
Yeah, take a look at this.
To meet you. Mm-hmm. We don't get visitors often, do we, sweetie?
Get a room.
Hypocrite.
Hey.
Name's Patrick. Come on.
No, there we go. And there's the faraway drawing. That's my favorite drawing of the movie.
I know. So cute.
And Pacha and Chica are just so accepting. I love that.
I love that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. Well, homophobia is a European import.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They didn't do that back then.
Yeah, no, I thought both Daniel and Micah did a really great job voicing Croc. I can tell which was which, after realizing it was two. different people voicing him, and I thought you guys did pretty well. So honestly, the final product, I didn't really hear any audio problems, no matter if it was Micah or Daniel.
Well, I'm also a pro at audio cleanup, so I tried my best. Yeah,
that's good. The power of Charlotte's audio cleanup.
Yeah. Not everyone here had an ideal microphone. Like, I think that was our Chell. We found her on Casting Call Club.
Okay.
That was her. She auditioned for this a week after she decided to start auditioning for voiceover roles. Like,
Oh, okay.
like I thought she did an amazing job. Yeah, this is like her first time getting cast in anything, I'm pretty sure. She's only 18 years old, and she just decided, you know what, I'm going to just try to do some voiceover auditions. And I'm pretty sure she was just doing it on her headset. But I thought she was a great Chell.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just didn't want to cast a non-Mexican person as Chell.
Yeah.
I do live in Mexico. I did try to get a friend to come over and voice her, but she kind of flaked.
Aw.
So we just went on Casting Call Club and said, looking only for actors of indigenous Central American descent. And we found Sleepless Beauty, her username is, and I thought she did a great job. I gotta tell you something. You mentioned Ella as Yzma earlier. I gotta tell you. So we wanted to move these characters forward with Groove. We felt that there's an issue, especially with these Disney sequels, but it's present in New Groove, that there's stagnation with these characters' personalities. That and throughout Emperor's New Groove, Kuzco learns not to be as selfish, and then Emperor's New School is basically a show about him being selfish, and it kind of feels like we're taking one step back a little bit just to keep the character having the kind of dialogue they had in most of the movie.
Yeah.
And Micah's idea with Kuzco was he sees Kuzco in Emperor's New Groove and Woody in Toy Story 1 as very similar characters. So he tried to write Woody in Toy Story 2 was his compass for how Kuzco should interact with situations. Still kind of a selfish jerk, but like trying and learning to be better for his friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our idea with Yzma, my idea with casting a trans woman as Yzma is that Yzma is a pretty drag-coded character, like Eartha Kitt playing an ugly lady, like famously every drag queen for 30, 40 years based their voice on Eartha Kitt. So it really feels like getting her to voice this character is drag coding this character the same way they did Ursula. So I thought, getting a trans woman to voice the role would fit that. But then I found a clip from RuPaul's Drag Race of Jujubee doing an impression of Eartha Kitt. And I sent it to Ella, and I said, do not imitate Eartha Kitt. You are imitating Jujubee as Eartha Kitt, because you are not playing Yzma. You are playing a tired, bitter, old drag queen who does not have the energy to hate anymore and yet still hates. Like,
yes.
And that was kind of the direction with Yzma, is like, forget everything you know about Yzma. You're playing, like, focus on the Jujubee or the Kit voice. You're playing this bitter, old, spiteful drag queen. Because the idea of Yzma and Kronk's thing in this movie is that there was a point where Kronk was like, I'm the henchman, I have to go along with the evil plans. And now Kronk is like, I'm really worried that this old lady is going to die angry and I'll be somewhat culpable because I have not done a good enough job at getting her to change her ways.
Aw, Kronk, it's not your fault.
No.
And so we wanted something a little darker and a little sadder about Yzma this time. Yeah. Because, if it has been 25 years since Emperor's New Groove, how is she even still alive? It hasn't. Our idea is that it's like 4 years after, maybe 3 years after.
Yeah.
Do we want to wait till Marla gets back, or?
We can do that. Hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing most of the talking. It's my instincts to just fill dead
No,
air when I hear it, but I don't want.
it's okay. It's
It's a
both you and Micah's project. You know, you
yeah.
did a lot of like you both did equally as a lot of work, and
Right, but
honestly,
I did the extroverted parts of the process.
yeah. No, I really see a lot of heart in this project. Like, it's not just being like a fan service to both of these movies, but like it felt like you guys actually really cared to write really good jokes that matched what the characters would say from both of these projects. I really like, I could really see that, honestly.
Well, thank you. I am a comedy writer first and foremost, I would say. I
Yeah.
would say that like I would be more likely like I would be more at home writing for an actual sitcom than I would writing fan fiction because comedy writing is my passion, not so much
Yeah.
fan service. I like fan service. I'm a fan. Who doesn't like to be serviced? But
I'm a fan of anything to be serviced.
yeah,
Back.
yeah. So as I was, well, thank you. Yeah, it's well. So
Marla's back, by the way.
welcome back, Marla.
Hello.
Yay.
Hope you're all right.
Hi. I'm all right.
Okay. So
good.
yeah, no, well, so my interest in El Dorado is that it has sequels. Like I said, the threat in Road to El Dorado is that Hernan Cortez wants to steal the gold from the Aztecs, and then the same writers, Rossio and Elliott, made Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl, set 200 years later, where the Aztec gold stolen from Cortez is cursed and has affected these pirates because the Aztec gods were so mad about him doing all that colonizing. So, like, my interest in El Dorado, my obsession with it began as the start to a narrative. And it does... Like, it came out a year before Shrek. You could absolutely tell... You could absolutely tell Road to El Dorado was supposed to be the first in a series of movies. Like, I got so much evidence.
Set up for a sequel, basically.
Yeah, it ends with
The
them
very
saying,
ending scene is like them going off on the horse and ready to go on new adventures as a throuple. So
that's
I don't
correct.
know what the hell out of that.
Yeah, and so not only does it end in a cliffhanger, but 2000 was the same year that DreamWorks released their first direct-to-video sequel, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which is
Joseph the King of Dreams.
Joseph the King of Dreams. It's not as good a title. Not as good a title.
No,
I don't have it memorized because it's not as good.
Is it connected to Joseph and the?
No,
it's connected to. It's loosely connected to Prince of Egypt, but
it's
I know
loosely
that.
connected to
I
Prince
knew
of Egypt.
that.
No,
I
it's
just
not.
didn't know.
It doesn't use the songs. There's no.
Yeah.
It's funny, but since we lost Joseph, we've gone to the other extreme. No one comes to dinner now. We'd probably eat them anyhow. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm still processing how we apparently have two media
Joseph
things in the
musicals.
world that depict the story of Joseph in musical format.
Two Joseph musicals, yeah. But so
these
they
two
released
musicals
their
come
they released their first direct-to-video sequel that same year, and the Road to El Dorado is based on the Road 2 movies by Paramount, which were the first movies with sequels in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Bob Hope and Bing Crosby.
Yep.
And they made a bunch of Family Guy episodes inspired by them.
Yeah. Which
that might have been my introduction to it, even though I did watch Road to El Dorado at a very young age. So,
they're not the spoof movies. They're adventure spoof movies. They're not good enough to still be worthy of being talked about in a post Mel Brooks world. Once Mel Brooks came along, those movies were never going to be part of the zeitgeist again.
unless you like old comedies like that of the time period, which you can't find stuff like that when around that era. It just depends if it ages well.
Right. And it doesn't for the most part. But
Ah, of course.
I haven't seen them yet, but I do. I mean, I love Abbott and Costello. I love.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of 40s radio comedy, so I've heard Hope and Crosby on the radio show. I get a vague idea on what vaudeville means, as well as like I am literally writing this with Ella, my comedy partner. So we have this kind of back and forth that we're kind of doing in the call, and then being like, Micah, should we write that down, or was that too silly?
And most of the time, my answer was no, it wasn't too silly.
It's true. A lot of this is Micah just enabling me and Ella to go off the rails.
Well, that's how
kind
the
of-
Emperor's New. That's how the Emperor's New Groove got made. It was just the director.
Precisely.
And that's
And
how
then-
El Dorado got voiced.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Micah kind of just like, I'm gonna let Ella and Charlotte do their thing. I think Rossio and Elliot, I don't think they were trying to capture Hope and Crosby. I think their idea of what vaudeville means as a comedy style is ripping off Princess Bride and Mel Brooks. I think the way to pay tribute to an artist is not to just like I was saying about copying not someone's performance but their tool set.
Mm-hmm.
I am obsessed with Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't think the way to write Pirates of the Caribbean is nostalgia for the Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings era of film. I think it's to look at what Rossio and Elliot were trying to copy, which, in my opinion, more than anything, all of their movies, not all of their movies, not Little Monsters, but I think Aladdin, is it Mark of Zorro or Mask of Zorro?
Mask of Zorro.
Mask.
Aladdin, The Mask of Zorro, the first Shrek, Road to El Dorado. I think all of these are a way of going just mashing Princess Bride humor into Indiana Jones. I think that's their shtick. 100% is like, what if Indiana Jones had Princess Bride jokes? And they made a career off of that until they ruined their career by being anti-vaxxers. And now I am here to take your place. And Disney, if there's for some reason you're listening to this, one, don't. I admitted to stealing from you so many times. Two, you should hire me to bring back Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm the right writer for this job.
Charlotte, you should be the new CEO of Disney, actually.
I wouldn't want to do that. I would not want to be a CEO. I want you know how like Kathleen Kennedy is the CEO of Lucasfilm,
Yeah.
and sorry, lost it. Is it Brian Henson? Brian's in charge of Jim Henson Studios?
I think so.
Yeah. I want to be that for Pirates of the Caribbean, but it to have no power involved in it. I want to be the James Gunn of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, get someone else to do the business shit. I'm not...
You're just like more pirates, more gay pirates.
Well, that's... Yes. I mean, obviously, yes. There was... the word matey is literally a transliteration of the French word for marriage, for marrying a spouse. But, no, my idea actually is I don't think I should be the one writing Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I should be the one producing Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think there should be Caribbean writers and directors involved. Because you feel like you've told every story in this world. Why haven't you contacted filmmakers from there's still a Caribbean there, by the way? And that's, I don't think if Road to El Dorado and Emperor's New Groove ever officially came back, Micah and I would be the right writers. I'm part Jewish, which helps with the vaudeville and the Looney Tunes, but I think this should be a story that's elevating Mesoamerican voices. And I did my best with the research, and I want to say we did have 2 viewers from Peru who complimented this film on the research. So I did my best.
Aww, that's awesome.
But I just think an actual Peruvian person should be dealing with a story about Bizarro. But like our idea was one of my favorite podcasts is it's a Patreon exclusive podcast for Talking Simpsons called What a Cartoon Movie. But I think it's worth the $10 a month. And in the episode on Road to El Dorado, they kind of compared the way colonizers are written in Pocahontas with the way colonizers are written in El Dorado. And in Pocahontas, it's like, there's bad on both sides. This is a misunderstanding. We're both people. And in El Dorado, the understanding is
they're just assholes.
Yeah, no, the Mayans are people. The Mayans are people. The conquistadors are demons. And
it's not trying to go for the both sides are wrong message from Pocahontas. No. In El Dorado, it's like, no, we know who the real bad guys are.
Right, and I think Zekel Khan's existence kind of muddies that message a little bit, but so that's our first scene is the introduction of Francisco Pizarro, which is just 100% me ripping off Pirates of the Caribbean writing style. It opens with him killing someone to show how big a threat he is, because that's how the third movie
arguably
opens.
Killing the most important character in Road to El Dorado, since the plot wouldn't happen without.
Right? Did you guys recognize that? Because it's not like he's it's not like anyone's ever owned merch of him. But the navigator that Pizarro kills in the first scene is the guy from the craps game from the first scene in El Dorado, who they win the map from.
Yeah, I think I kind of remember that guy. And I was wondering what that scene was going to be setting up for later, especially since tone-wise it does it's a bit more serious compared to the rest of chapter 1.
Yeah, well, that's basically the looming threat that we're not going to be playing. And obviously, chapter 1 was supposed to be longer, and we were supposed to get a payoff to that, and Micah and I just got behind schedule. No fault of our own. We had people working on the music that the song, the musical number that just wound up being kind of late with it, but worth it because it turned out amazing.
Yes, it did.
That's supposed to be setting up something that was supposed to be in this part, but it's all good. The idea is there's this sitcom antics happening. New Groove World is stuck in new school, so now episodic sitcom antics are happening, and the El Dorado trio join in on those episodic sitcom antics. They're like, hey, we can episodic sitcom antics with the best of them. But then they also bring the tone of their movie with them. They join in just to join the antics, but they're white people who shouldn't be. They're white people who shouldn't be in
comedies.
This. Yeah, thank you. We tried. No, thank you. No, that was worth pointing out. But then their world is this DreamWorks that did Prince of Egypt, that did Road to El Dorado, that did Spirit, that did Sinbad. I try to sin good personally, but so they bring this higher stakes kind of. DreamWorks thought that their brand was going to be defined by Prince of Egypt. They thought they were going to be the biblical epics animated movie company. Not necessarily literally from the Bible, but Road to El Dorado is the rise and fall of a nation, not fall. I mean, I guess El Dorado, the secret village, survives, and then just all of the Aztecs around them get murdered by Cortez. So we wanted to bring a Cortez level threat following the El Dorado trio, because them crossing over means their tone crosses over, basically. Sorry, I'm explaining in so many words. Yzma says it better when she reads the wanted poster and determines that they're wanted for... What were the three things? What was the rule of threes that I wrote, Micah?
Anti-heroism, thievery with a heart of gold, pushing the boundaries of a PG rating.
Yeah, anti-heroism. That's... yeah, so DreamWorks' thing was pushing the boundaries of a PG rating, and so, like, Miguel and Tulio can't not bring that with them, is basically the idea of that first scene.
Yep.
I mean, isn't Kuzco already sort of an anti-hero in his own right?
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely Deadpool in that he stops the movie and talks to you. I don't know. I have a complicated view on that movie. I guess he's the one with an arc, so that makes him the protagonist in a way. But in another way, him and Yzma are equal antagonists. Like, it doesn't really... at the beginning of the movie, it doesn't make a difference to Pacha or Rudy who's in charge of the Empire. Like, it's gonna fuck over Pacha either way.
My argument is Kuzco... By the end of the movie, Kuzco is an anti-hero, but at the start of the movie, he's a villain protagonist.
I guess
that's fair. Like Deadpool! Right. I think, he's an anti-hero in a Deadpool way, and Miguel and Tulio are in a Jack Sparrow way. Johnny Sparrow. Johnny and Jack are the same name. Do you know who Jack Kennedy is? It's fine.
And as we were talking about earlier, about how it was really good, which we were talking a lot about. I was really wanted this to feel as authentic as possible and not like typical what people think of when they think of fan fiction.
There's this idea in fandom circles, there's two schools of thought, which are curation and creation. Curation is the idea of, maintaining a wiki, is the idea of collecting all the merch, is the idea of preserving this thing as it once was. And creation is saying, what did I personally take from this? What did I want to see from this? What did I think there should be more of? That's where you get your crack fix, your shipping culture. Now, there's a middle ground that doesn't really exist in fan fictions, but certainly exists in television, and was my special interest in high school, which is TV writing. TV writing is both curation and creation because, Matt Groening created The Simpsons in a pitch with just describing his family life because he realized in the waiting room that if he pitched his graphic novel, he would lose the rights to it. But then James L. Brooks came in, Sam Simon came in, developed it into a series. And from that point on, the three of them were varying levels of hands-off. And it was more the writers, your Josh Weinsteins, your Conan O'Briens, who shaped just from Sam Simon, James L. Brooks, Matt Groening's Bible, from their thou shalt not have the Simpsons look evil, having them show what would happen in a traditional episode is something that other writers have been running with for far too long. I think James L. Brooks is the only one still in the game, making sure they stick to what he wants. But and that's how things go. Alex Hirsh is the genius credited with Gravity Falls, but like The Deep End, the Momondo episode, was just written by a sitcom writer who sent a spec script pitching a sitcom to Disney. It did not get picked up, but when a show doesn't get picked up, the pilot script goes to all the different offices in Disney, and Alex and team thought this lady was funny and said, hey, do you want to write an episode of our show? Here's what our vibe is. Like, and so that was like, I was obsessed with becoming a TV writer in high school. I watched every behind the scenes on every... I fantasized about being in the Monk writer's room, the only writer's room ever set in New Jersey, because that's where I'm from. Ignore the accent. I'm also from fake Britain, hence the fake British accent. This is how everyone talks in fake Britain. So I love this idea of like kind of disappearing into the head writer, which is not what fanfiction is usually trying to do. A TV writer's goal is to be creative, is to come up with their own ideas, is to imbue their own personality into the project. Famously, Larry Charles, Seinfeld writer, got to be Larry Charles, Borat director of every episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, because he noticed that no one knew what to do with Kramer, so he challenged himself in every script he wrote to add one more character detail about Kramer's life until they started defaulting to him for Kramer episodes. And that's how he became as powerful in the industry as he is. And Bob Odenkirk, who was an actor on Seinfeld, gave that advice to his brother, Bill Odenkirk. And Bill Odenkirk wrote the best episode of Futurama because of it, How Hermes Requisitioned His Groove Back. Because Bill Odenkirk listened to Bob's advice that find a character that no one else knows what to do with and write an episode all about them, and that's how you get your episode actually produced for TV. So, like, every Hermes moment from that point on had to have a little bit of Bill Odenkirk's writer DNA in it. It's not that we shouldn't give him credit, but the comedy he's creating for Hermes to do when other characters aren't watching is so similar to the writing style of David X. Cohen and Matt Groening that you don't think about it. So it's like he is a creative who is pushing his ideas and his sense of humor forward, but also it's disappearing into this general created by Matt Groening, developed with David X. Cohen vibe, that it's this in-between that no other fanfic... I'm sorry, my answer to every question is so long.
It's all right. I'm learning a lot about the writing process.
It's all right. I enjoyed to hear like a lot of the your inspirations and strategies of how writing comedy, especially for this short film.
Mm-hmm. And writing comedy is if I think too hard about how much I love writing comedy, it literally has made me cry in the past. Like it's what I was put on this earth to do. Like, I think I'm a good voice director. Obviously, the characters that aren't me sound great. I sat in the call and made everyone redo it over and over and over again until it sounded exactly how I pictured it. I'm proud of that. I marketing myself as a voice actor was easier on the internet, and that's why most people know me as a voice actor, is it's like, hey, you know what Dipper from Gravity Falls sounds like? He sounds kind of like this. You know what King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph sounds like? He sounds kind of like this. You know what Olaf sounds like? He sounds like this. That's easy to market. That's easy to clickbait. But
And
like,
you got to voice Olaf. Sorry, this is a tangent.
no, I did get to voice Olaf for technically for Disney India, but really an independent thing that was just done with cooperation from Disney India.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
So when I started marketing myself as a voice actor when Frozen came out, because I got okay. Without the drag voice, this is my normal voice. So and let's take 10 years of vocal cord damage away from that. Let's raise the pitch a little. This is what I would have sounded like when Frozen came out. So the second Olaf's voice was like revealed in promotional material, I got messages from people I haven't talked to since middle school saying like, hey, that snowman sounds like you. And I'm like, what snowman? Why does everyone keep messaging me this? So I found it incredibly easy to just start posting to Tumblr, Olaf reads this shit post, and then just actually just reading it myself in my normal voice. And I had done voice acting before that because I've been a YouTuber since January 2007, and a lot of that is just like being the graphic designer, making the thumbnail, being the writer, being the star. Like a lot of that is just DIY every step. So I've done voice acting, but I started marketing myself as a voice actor when these Olaf posts started getting notes, and I was like, cha-ching.
Probably helps that it was the biggest thing in the world for a while.
Yeah. Right, and that got me. I built my career off of that in that I somehow got the vibe. Well, I don't know if I knew Gravity Falls was going to be the next big thing in the world, but it was my favorite thing at the time. And so I latched onto anyone with a Gravity Falls icon that was reblogging my Olaf stuff. I was like, hi, we're best friends now. And that's literally how I met Ella, who is now my comedy partner. But, yeah, but no, I mean, like, and then I think my greatest skill, like, voice acting is how I market myself. Writing is my comedy writing is my passion. I think my greatest skill is as a producer. I think I'm good at saying this person should do this job, this person should do this job. That's, like, I think every role on this film except for the composer was someone that Micah scouted, the person who did the music, Jacob Martin.
Yes, Sophie knows who that is.
Yep.
Yeah, Jacob and Daniel, who is Pacha, was scouted by Micah, and then I think everyone else I brought into this project, I was like, no, what you want for this character is Dalton. No, oh, come on, we should have Ella do it. Like,
I guess commenting, I'm actually Jacob Martin's real life girlfriend.
Got it.
Right.
I did not know. I was not made aware of that. So what did you? Okay,
yeah.
well then please praise his work for a second. Don't let me just toot my horn the whole
No,
time.
it's okay. I from at least watching the short film last night, I like the music was really good. Honestly, of course, I'm not just saying that because I'm dating him, but no, it was really good. I think it captures both of the movies you guys are taking inspiration from. Like it's honestly, it sounds very like like a professional kind of film quality of composing.
And I'm not dating him. I don't even know him that well, so this means more coming from me. Yeah. No, it really feels like if to me 100% gives the vibes of if John Debney, who scored Groove, and Hans Zimmer, and Hans Zimmer, who scored El Dorado, if they were forced to work together and combine their styles, it would 100% sound like this. Like
Yeah.
you definitely get there's some music theory understand. Like he's doing what I'm doing, breaking down the performances in the comedy style. He understands clearly what John Debney and Hans Zimmer's influences are, and is able to pull from that to kind of feel like what they would create. It was the perfect choice. No one I know could have done it better. I was just saying.
No, and from someone who has listened to a bit of the samples that he has like made from other of his projects. Again, he's always taking a lot of inspiration from other film composers, so I can really hear a lot of the Zimmer inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are Jacob Martin's general music influences? I would say Hans Zimmer, obviously, but what are some of his favorite composers?
I think one of the biggest I know. I mean, so all theme park music is something he's obsessed with.
Yes.
He calls himself the coaster composer. So
yeah.
But theme park music is usually arrangements of other people's scores that all fit the same collective vibe. So it's a really good influence to pull from this for this specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More people have probably heard Zippity Doodah as a swing number than
the actual song that it's based off of.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we should definitely ask him this at some point, or maybe we could get him to record the answer to this question. I don't want to completely speak for him. But something I notice he does a lot because this helped me because he's just sending me MP3s that I have to sync with the movie and I have to make sure they're synced properly. And something that helped with that a lot is he does what's known in the industry as Mickey Mousing.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that was specifically in Micah's instructions while telling him what to score in different parts.
Yes.
I guess I'm not knowledgeable about that term. Do you guys like to explain to me about that?
Mickey, so if I were to just play a silent cartoon that had never had a soundtrack before and add music, there would be moments of synchronicity. If I just picked a random track, like there used to be a meme called Guile's theme goes with everything. That's because like filmed footage has a constant varying, let's say, beats per minute, which is the tempo of a song. If you're listening to a random song with random visuals, you're not going to focus on the parts that have the wrong tempo. You're going to focus on, wait, why did that sync up perfectly? You're going to focus so hard on all of that it's going to seem like serendipitous. That's what Dark Side of the Rainbow is, the rumor of syncing up Pink Floyd with
Dark Side of the Moon.
With Dark Side of the Moon by with
we did that once.
We did. That's true.
Did it work?
We didn't do it with Wizard of Oz. I mean, we didn't do it with Dark Side of the Moon. We did it with the Gravity Falls soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
There's a reversed message on the Gravity Falls vinyl where Grunkle Stan, if you play it backwards, says, "If you sync this up with Wizard of Oz, it'll go perfectly." So we tried it, and So, and there were a lot of moments that were really great, and there were a lot of moments that weren't. But what happens in scoring cartoons in a way that never happens in any other music? Actions like moving your elbow really quickly might be met with a violin going "Bwah?" and then tiptoeing might be met with a xylophone going ding 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 ding.
Yeah, that's
and
Mickey Mouse
that's
thing.
not music per se. Those are sound effects, but they're being created by the music department and not the sound effect department, and are part of the overall score, which does include music, and that's known as Mickey Mousing.
Yep.
That's almost
okay.
I think that's sort of the reverse of what they did with Fantasia, where they take pre-existing music and kind of like create the cartoons around bits and pieces of the score, correct?
That's
Okay.
I mean that's how music videos always work, and that's kind of what Fantasia is. Versus, you might notice in other Mickey Mouse cartoons, he will raise up his arms when the conductor of the orchestra would be raising up his arms, even if it's not Sorcerer's Apprentice playing. That's because the music is scoring not just the vibe of the scene, but the little animation movements. Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in John Debney's Emperor's New Groove score.
And that's all Hans Zimmer does anymore. Hans Zimmer has not written a melody in like 10 years. Inception and Dark Knight corrupted him into thinking music could just be
Sounds like a vacuum.
Yeah, he writes vacuum music now. He's a musician in the vacuum core scene now.
He just turns his vacuum on, and then there, auto film score, insert it.
It really, I guess, I don't know. It's the reverse of Mickey Mousing. Instead of the composer making music to score to use as sound effects, it's the composer making sound effects to use as music.
I'm also reminded of this meme that was going on for a while after the 5th episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, where there's that intermission bits, and there were just a bunch of videos sort of syncing up that sequence with whatever pop music fit the beats per minute, which is a lot.
Yes.
Exactly.
My personal favorites were that one song from SpongeBob Out of Water. There was one with TikTok from Kesha.
Mine was somebody did that intermission scene with Pink Elephants on Parade from Dumbo, and then there was Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, which kind of also sings super well for that scene.
By the way, while we're on the trend of crediting artists, I just want to say one thing someone might pull to say El Dorado also has in common with Pirates of the Caribbean is that Hans Zimmer scored both. Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl, the first movie, was not scored by Hans Zimmer, and I'm going to need everyone to start correcting people who say it was.
Oh, so
Okay.
who did?
Klaus Badalt, who was Hans Zimmer's assistant,
Oh.
wrote the melodies, and then Hans Zimmer did the arrangements and conducted the orchestra. His orchestra. It was his orchestra doing his arrangements, but it was Klaus Badalt's melodies. And I just want to point that out at every occasion because while hypothetically it's a good system as a composer as busy as Hans Zimmer to have assistants so you could work multiple jobs at the same time, Klaus Badalt has not done a whole lot of blockbusters since, and that is crazy because if you wrote He's a Pirate, you should never have to beg for a job again.
Yeah.
True.
He's a Pirate is da 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 da. Like Klaus Badalt wrote that, he should be handed jobs for the rest of his life, and it's weird that he's not. So I just want to every occasion I can.
I hope that he gets like the full credit for that, honestly, instead of just giving it to just Hans Zimmer. Yes, he's the one who composed it, but you know.
Yeah. I have my own. Okay, so peek behind the curtain. Part of why I did this is I have been rebranding myself as the pirate drag queen who makes comedy for other sword lesbians. I used to just kind of generally be funny person on the internet, and when that was so tied to doing Gravity Falls content and that stopped trending, I almost starved to death. So now I'm really trying to hone in the brand. You know, I've worked with all of these famous YouTubers and still no one knows who I am. I've worked with Strange Aeons and Penny Parker and Kean Carlisle, and yet my brand is not strong enough to. So I'm like, what is interesting about me, and what can I make interesting to other people? And I've discovered that this is what it is, and I am currently working on my passion project, the most Charlotte thing ever made. It's coming out on Talk Like a Pirate Day, September 19th of 2026.
2026.
It's called The Mutiny of Keeley Hall, a Sapphic Swashbuckling Whodunit. Or Charlotte Driftwood's The Mutiny of Keeley Hall, excuse me. That's what I decided. And honestly, a huge part of... Obviously, Micah is doing Road to Kuzcotopia because making Emperor's New Groove fan stuff has always been his shtick. But I'm trying to establish a shtick here, and The Mutiny of Keeley Hall is a murder mystery where a skeleton pirate hires private investigators to solve his own murder. Specifically, divorced lesbian private investigators. So, the divorced lesbians have to bicker. If they're solving crimes together while divorced, they have to bicker. So I'm like, these are the comedy leads of a podcast who are bickering all the time, but also know each other really well. So like, Miguel and Tulio was a huge inspiration for them. I'm even going to have the voice actors record it in a call so they could riff off each other the same way. And then my character, the skeleton himself, the pirate captain, is like arrogant and selfish, showy theater kid. So like, honestly, casting myself as Miguel and Cusco was branding because Keeley, the character hopefully I will be known for, is half Cusco, half Miguel, basically.
Oh, she sounds fun already.
Well, it is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, Keeley is primarily a girl's name, and that was, but the character wound up becoming a man. Like when we wrote him, we were like, this guy's too shitty to be anything other than a white man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Keeley is the Irish or Scottish version of the name Kelly. Kelly is only a girl's name. Keely is a mostly girl's name, but it is gender neutral. It is unisex. There are Scottish and Irish people, men named Keely. Sorry, that's not relevant to anything. But I wanted to bring up that, like, I have composers for that project. Literally the Klaus Badalt Hans Zimmer system, where I have one person who is in grad school for composing for film, but doesn't play any instruments, only just works with their VST software, virtual instruments, synthesizers. And I have another person who does Celtic punk covers. Sorry, let me say their names, because I'm talking about crediting artists in this section. Crow Willis is going to grad school for composing for film. And Jonas Bombeek just does Celtic punk covers of video game music, but has no experience, like, really writing his own songs. So I have one person who can write songs and can't play instruments, and one person who can arrange songs to be played with Celtic instruments, but can't write them. And they're an amazing team together. But that music would not be right for Kuzcotopia, and so, like, I am glad this is one of the only instances where I am not the producer bringing people in. That was Micah. I mean, I've talked to Jacob. I worked with Jacob twice, technically, but he wouldn't have been my first choice just because I don't know him that well. And I don't think Crow would have been able to capture that very specifically Hans Zimmer... Hans Zimmer, John Debney style. Like, I think that's something Jacob is uniquely suited towards.
Yeah.
Who else did a really good job on this movie that we should shout out?
Hold on, let me pull up the credits list. I have it right here.
Yeah, if there's someone you want to ask about, like, go through the credits list, ask us. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I was really happy to hear Shelby's voice again as Melina. I remember her being on the Mystery Shack Look Back as well.
You've listened to my podcast. That's wondrous.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna just if I could tangent into kind of how I met these people. Actually, I should start rapping relatively soon because I have Nia has a plan on the computer.
Okay.
So.
Oh no! But never mind. The stream got rescheduled, so I'm not rushing. But okay, what was I going to say? Oh, Shelby. I just want to tell you how I met Shelby real quick, because Shelby's in most of my stuff. You know, she was in my podcast, Mystery Shack Look Back. She stars in my most viewed video as Anti-Mabel. Even the Sonic real-time fandoms are a spin-off of my real-time fandoms, even though I've never been in the Sonic ones. But Shelby she was Princess Elise in the Sonic 06 one because they wanted to bring in the person who voiced all the princesses in my real-time fandoms. So Shelby is amazing. Shelby's wonderful. Shelby's incredibly talented. I met Shelby when we both... cosplayed Alex Hirsh, the creator of Gravity Falls, at 2 different conventions on the same weekend. By coincidence, we were both like, I'm going to dress not as a Gravity Falls character, but as the animator. And, sorry, my brain's starting to slow down. She went looking for photos of her and found me and was like, who the hell is this? And clicked onto my blog and saw it plastered with pictures of Strong Bad. And she literally wore the Alex Hirsh cosplay to meet Strong Bad's voice actor. So she messaged me like, I think we should be best friends. And like, yeah, there's very few I make that she's not involved in. She's just one of my go-to people.
And she was already Melina in the Platypus's New Groove, so that worked out really well.
Yeah, obviously I know Jessica DeChico as Giffany, and
Oh my gosh, she did Giffany? Or was it Giffany?
Yeah, Jessica DeChico, who voiced she's in, a lot of Disney Channel shows. That's kind of her job. And so she was in both Emperor's New School as Melina and in Gravity Falls as Giffany and Tambry. That was her name.
Yep.
Wendy's friend. So I know their voices. I'm not as familiar with Melina. I haven't really watched the cartoon. I mean, I watched an episode for the podcast, specifically the one with Yzma writing a resume. But Micah tells me it's like uncanny.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
it sounds very similar.
I'm really glad. Yeah, and actually, there are parts of this that maybe didn't add to the production at all. But my idea with Melina was she is a television character, and television is produced on a schedule in a way a movie's produced with a deadline, TV's produced with a schedule, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So movies are made, especially Disney movies, we can keep reworking everything until it's better until this point in production. TV is kind of made as like, get this part done, TV's a little more assembly line. It's a little more this part of the process, then this part of the process, then this part of the process. So just not as much time is spent getting TV characters recordings as movie characters, as well as like, well, there are obviously exceptions, because not every good animator is going to be a good voice director. But generally, movies have better voice direction than television does. And so what we did, so Melina would sound just the slightest bit more like a TV character, that was the only character I didn't direct. Micah directed that. Because I'm like, Micah doesn't have as much experience voice directing as me. Yeah. I don't know if it comes through at all. I don't know if it made a difference, but
Really, what happened was you said Shelby could probably record it by himself, by themselves, and
any pronouns you could say himself.
Yeah, and I said I wanted to direct Shelby,
and I was like, yeah, no. I said Shelby could, but I said you should. I was about to say you should be there, but you beat me to saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby did a great job. Any other names strike you in the credits that you wanted to mention?
Going through it right now. I did have a question about
yeah, please.
How many chapters are in the works? Like, how long is the script that you're planning out?
Micah estimates 5.
Yeah, I'm estimating 5, and the last one will probably be like twice as long as the rest of them.
Yeah.
Current
Just
one
because
is
the last
14...
one wouldn't make sense to split. And what? Sorry.
Okay, so like the current chapter 1 right now is 15 minutes roughly total, although that's including the credits.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a half-hour finale, basically, which sounds awesome.
Like half hour, 22 minute.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going for 20 to 30 minutes for the part 5, yeah.
And then after all that's done, it's all going to be edited into a feature film.
Right, yeah. We wanted to release this as one film, but I have so many projects, and Mike has to draw the whole thing, and we realized, like, let's release it in chapters.
Yeah, I think it's for the best, honestly, for your guys' time's sake, and also like animation is not easy to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am such a perfectionist with sound design as well. Like, Micah was really anxious through my part of this process just because, like, I'll get like a minute done a night or 2 minutes. Like, I'll work all night, like 3 or 5 hours, just to like fine-tune the audio in just 1 minute of screen time. And like, part of that is just me rewatching it over and over because I'm proud of what I did, but I do get stuck doing that. But it's not really an efficient way to make a thing with a deadline, but I've been a YouTuber since 2007. I've done a lot of efficiency to make a deadline, and I'm just done with that at this point in my career. I'm like, I want to try actually being a perfectionist for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I would like. Micah was in most of the calls, or all of the calls, while I was voice directing this. Micah knows that, like, I would sometimes spend like 5 to 10 minutes on just one line to make sure the voice actor got it exactly how I pictured it.
Yeah.
What we did with Pacha, whenever his John Goodman impression started slipping, I told him to visualize John Goodman in his Fred Flintstone costume wiggling around on camera while saying this. Like, picture his physicality and picture the Fred Flintstone costume from when he played Fred Flintstone. And, like, as, you know, crazy as it is to be forcing my method acting to everyone on this movie, I did notice it start to sound better when I reminded him of that. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, and the final thing, it's instantly recognizable that that's who it's supposed to sound like.
I got so many people saying, like, that the John Goodman impression, the Pacha voice, was the closest voice match of the film. And it's like, who else can even...
Sorry, you cut out a bit
fucking
again.
attempt. Have you ever even heard have you ever heard an attempt at a John Goodman impression outside of Daniel? Like, I guess there's Fred from the Fred Tatasco from the, but that's not really a John Goodman impression. Can we call it that?
Yeah, it's not really.
Daniel was like a secret gift to this film. Micah just met him when he was like, I need someone. When he was doing another project, he just said, I need someone who could do a John Goodman impression in the Escape from Walt Disney Facebook group, and Daniel was just the first person to reply. But I think he's got like Tom Cruise style charisma. Like, he's gonna be in everything I make from this point on. He was so good as Pacha and Krunk.
Yeah.
John Goodman impression and a good Patrick Warburton impression. Let's not forget.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It was. I didn't remember his Patrick Warburton impression when I cast him. I was just like, not all the way. I love some of your deliveries, but I will not say no to getting more Daniel in this film.
Yeah.
And then was like, oh, good. I didn't remember. Also, my favorite Patrick Warburton impression, my favorite Patrick Warburton role is the Tick. I think. You know, Patrick Warburton was put on this earth to kind of a failed show that didn't last long. There's a reference to him playing the Tick in Men in Black 2. There's a reference in Ted 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that show existed because I know there was a Amazon Prime live action series that they made.
Yeah, they
This will forever kind of be something he's associated with because he's just. And when they first announced the reboot, it was supposed to. Patrick Warburton said he would be playing the role. I don't know where it shifted to be Peter Serafinowicz, but I kind of was like a little checked out when they I love Peter Serafinowicz. He was in Gravity Falls. He was Blind Ivan. He was Pete in Shaun of the Dead. He dubbed Darth Maul's 3 lines in Phantom.
That was him?
This is the Tick from Amazon Prime. Which he has a great story about of the word. Sorry, I can't say it without laughing.
It may just be on my end, but you've been cutting out a lot. I don't know if that's something wrong with
the direction, my internet.
Yeah. You're fine.
It's logging on mine too.
Yeah, sorry. I could try to. Testing. Hello.
Hello.
Testing. Hello.
Hello, testing.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. I switched to another internet connection. Well, if this lags again, I'll just switch back. But this is a possible fix.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that. Do you need me to restate the stuff I was lagging through?
That might be some of it might be. I got the gist of it, but if you want to,
What was I saying though?
you were talking about the actor who played the Tick in the Amazon reboot, and he did
Right. Peter Serafinowicz voiced Darth Maul, dubbed over the on-camera audio from the actor in the makeup. And when he asked George Lucas, like, give me a read, like, how am I supposed to voice this character? George Lucas responded to him, just make him sound real evil. Which is so funny. Is like, as a voice director myself, one of my favorite Hollywood anecdotes. But I did give that direction as a joke, but also was the actual direction I gave to Giancarlo, who voiced Pizarro.
That was one thing I wanted to say. The voice actor for Pizarro is Peruvian.
Yeah, he's half Peru. He's Peruvian and Italian American, but he voices Ganon, the villain in Well, Bridge Me, Princess. So beyond me already knowing that he's good at voicing a villain and I know how to get a good villain performance out of him, I thought the idea of casting a Peruvian as the guy who slaughtered all the Peruvians was funny. Like, if Pizarro watched this movie and found out who voiced him, he would be very upset. And I think if we're not portraying Pizarro in a way that would have upset him, we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi played Hitler in Jojo Rabbit because he's Polynesian and Jewish and thought it would piss Hitler off if he could see it. And that's kind of why, I went with an Italian Peruvian American.
He also does a really good Banderas-esque voice.
Yeah, we told him to do Antonio Banderas, but I told him don't rewatch Zorro or practice the voice. Go with the current platonic ideal in your head of what Antonio Banderas sounds like, and that was the direction I gave for.
And didn't you deepen?
I did digitally pitch it down. Giancarlo's never voiced a villain before working with me, and it's because he does have this very friendly goofball voice naturally. Like, he's the most huggable man we've ever met. But and it does sound a little artificial to me at times. I did digitally slow it down, but I like that because it's also what people. That digital artificiality is the exact type people use while voicing a demon, and demon was the word that What a Cartoon Movie used to describe the writing of Cortez in El Dorado. So I thought it was fine. I guess I could have cast an actor with a deeper voice, but no, Giancarlo's my guy.
Yep.
I like it. I like how it sounds.
And it's scary.
You said it sounded
I think
a
you
little.
did a good job.
You said it sounded a little more like Ricardo Montalban than
A little bit.
Yeah, which is fine. They're related in a general Spy Kids sort of way. Is it
Literally, and they're related within the movie.
Yeah, father and son. He also was the horse. The horse only made one noise, but that was also Giancarlo going.
Yeah, as El Tivo. Yeah, I've listened to some of the lines that will be in later parts, and was like, wow, he did amazing. It's actually scary.
Oh, he's terrifying. Yeah, no, Ganon is kind of a comedy villain in Well, Bridge Me, Princess, except for in the 22-minute one with Captain N that I talked about, where he is a legitimate threat. And it didn't seem like it was a challenge for Giancarlo to adjust his voice acting to be like, I am not a silly, funny, huggable guy. I'm scary now.
Yeah, because we already have our comedy villain in Yzma, so we needed someone different.
True.
Now here's a question. Is Yzma the comedy villain, or are Yzma and Kuzco both the comedy villains?
Well, definitely at the beginning, they both are of New Groove.
Mm-hmm. So you're like you said, a villain protagonist. I think Kuzco's still a little bit the villain protagonist. I think we tried to never make him do anything that seemed completely unjustifiable.
Yeah.
Like, the reason he sends the guards on Tulio is because Tulio did steal from him.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason he threw a party for the people instead of going to the council meeting on Imperial Defense is because he likes the people and wants them to have a good time in his palace.
Yeah.
but I still think kind of he's the kind of obstacle in the story. He's still
Well,
kind of the
that's what makes the story work, is that a lot of great stories, everything that happens because of the characters, and a lot of that is going to be your protagonist. So the
right,
protagonist
because
flaws drive the plot.
as well as finding out the original story was that that Pizarro was able to take over because the emperor at the time was tied up in a frivolous civil war with his twin brother. We were like, Cusco would do that.
Yeah.
So even the plot for this little fan project, I don't know if little is condescending, but you know what I mean. It pulls from real life history in a way, which is interesting. That influenced the writing.
Well, yeah, there's. I'd say El Dorado is historical fiction, and New Groove is not.
Yeah.
Like, El Dorado started when Jeffrey Katzenberg handed a book called Cortez and the Conquest of the New World to Rossio and Elliott, who when he was at Disney, he was the one who hired them to do Aladdin, to rewrite the animators' work without their permission on Aladdin. So he was like, we're working together again, and here's our next project, and just handed him this historical document. And so a lot of but then Emperor's New Groove is not. Emperor's New Groove is just a funny movie that happens to be set in the Incan Empire.
Yeah.
And so obviously I thought that if Miguel and Tulio are bringing the tone with them, then some of the actual history of the Incan Empire, of Peru, of Spain has to come with them. And so we did a lot of research, I'll say. Like one of the first lines, Chell says, "I told you I knew a shortcut." And Tulio says, "I don't know what we would have done without the shortcut through those scorpion bush." Oh, told you I knew the way. Sorry. I told you I knew the way is what Chell says. And then Tulio says, I don't know what we would have done without the shortcuts through the scorpion bushes. That's a brief way of talking about it is technically possible to walk from Mexico to Peru, but it is not probable. For those who have been keeping up with Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan's new show, Pluribus, you saw the recent episode about the Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is a dangerous jungle that stretches from North America to South America. And so the idea of El Dorado ends with them with Chell riding off to the sunset, into the sunset on their horse, Altivo, and them chasing after her. I like the fact that she's still on the horse and they're still on foot. Like, it's been months, but it has to end. It has to pick up exactly where the previous movie left off, because that's the rules of sequels. Maybe Altivo just became her horse somewhere along the journey, but that mention of the scorpion bushes was to say where the in-between of where we last saw these characters at the end of the first movie and where they are now is that they had to walk through the Darien Gap. And so we just quickly brought mention to that with shortcut through scorpion bushes. So yeah, there is a lot of history, a lot of geography brought into this. We read a lot about Incan mythology. We didn't really wind up using much of it, but like I am a mostly white mixed race person, white and Jewish person living in Mexico. I'm really trying not to be a colonizer, not to be a gentrifier. I want to respect the culture around me and engage with it rather than speaking for it. And so, like, again, I don't think I'm technically the right person to write a Road to El Dorado sequel, just because one of your main characters is a naked Aztec woman. I don't trust anyone who's not a sexually liberated woman of indigenous Mesoamerican descent to write Chell. completely, like, full stop. I don't trust myself to write Chell. But I tried my best. I wanted to make a movie that Mexican women could watch and not go, yeah, it was really good, except the Aztec woman was naked the whole time. That's why it ends with her dressing in Cusco's clothes, partially, because I was like, let's get some clothes on this woman.
If it helps, I'm Mexican American, and I thought she was pretty good in this.
Thank you, as well as, you know, it takes place in Peru, and I've never been to Peru, but I really tried. Actually, another thing, all of the background noise, like you always hear like crickets or birds in the background, those are all from South America.
Okay.
I
thought it added like an extra good detail on like the atmosphere of the show, the film.
Gracias. Yeah, those were. Yeah, those were clips of the Andes and Machu Picchu and the Amazon. There's. Yeah, I just wanted to, like, I didn't. Part of that was being too lazy to look up every animal that lives in this region and gather them separately. I was like, I could just get someone else's recording of this jungle, you know?
Yeah.
But I wanted Peruvians, and to a lesser extent, none of this movie takes place in Mexico, but Chell is Mexican. I wanted them to watch this movie and be like, yeah, that feels like that's where I'm from. And I tried my best to put as much care as I could as a Jewish girl into that. I'm glad it worked for you. I don't know if it'll work for everyone. We've gotten praise on it thus far. I wouldn't be against criticism if anyone has any.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, were you about to say something? Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I don't have much knowledge towards like as much as the culture that I have because I am like part Hispanic Latin on both of my parents' sides. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for as far as you guys did a really good job of handling it in a way that, you know, as well as you guys did, it feels like you were trying to like fix what the problems were with at least both with Emperor and Road El Dorado of culture representation, especially for both of those films coming out in like the year 2000.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We tried. I think I don't think Groove is awful representation. I would have preferred.
No, I wasn't trying to say both of them are bad or anything.
I would say El Dorado's kind of bad. Like
okay, yeah.
There's like it's generally accepted in El Dorado that there was only one guy who ever worshipped Spaniards, and that wasn't a thing anyone else does. Like, it's just Zekel Khan, who is just using it as a bargaining chip, and then later does it unironically with Cortez. But, like, the idea of, and then the natives worship me as a god is, where that comes from culturally is fucking Mesoamerican indigenous people have an idea of hospitality that is lacking in Europeans. Like, these image of them being like hand-fed fruit because they're being worshipped. No, it's just polite to give someone fruit when they come over your house. Is like what that was about in actual history.
Yeah.
But I think the reason Groove kind of doesn't get the criticism, doesn't get the scrutiny that El Dorado does is it's not really trying. I think the fact of the matter is it's not trying to speak on Peruvian or on Incan culture or daily life. It's just a wacky comedy that pays a few tributes to their world along the way. It would be better with Peruvian actors. It is weird that they're all white except for Isba, who is still American, just black. But
Yeah.
and we didn't necessarily correct that with our casting. I don't know. I don't have money here, so if I had an infinite budget, I could find a South American dude with a perfect David Spade impression. But as far as like not paying the actors, you should probably in that case just go with whoever you have access to with a David Spade impression who will agree to do it for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think like if there is anything official set in the Groove world again, Disney should just try to find a Peruvian dude who could do that voice.
Or at the very least, bring in some script consultants who are of that heritage to like come in and see, hey, maybe avoid this stereotype and that. Maybe we can add this aspect of the culture into our script and the world building. That'd be nice.
The Emperor's New Groove was what it taught me. What I learned from it was that not in every case, but the Emperor's New Groove is a case where if it's how problematic it is largely subjective, depending on which person who's Peruvian you would ask.
Yeah, I don't think it's generally something. I think, and living in Mexico and like I'm sure you famously heard that Americans have a debate over whether Speedy Gonzalez is offensive, and Mexicans do not. They just love him unequivocally. I'm sure you've heard that. He's a big deal around here. He's a big deal around here.
I have family friends who are part Hispanic who don't see anything like as negative about him. You know, I guess.
Well, here's the fact of the matter: is he stereotypical? Sure, fine. Yeah. He's also the hero. Like, the point of the cartoons is we want to see Speedy Gonzalez win against the bad guys. And, like, I guess Zorro existed, but outside of that, there was never a story in which Mexicans would... No, wait, Zorro's a Spaniard, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. There's never been a story where the Mexican is the good guy prior to Speedy Gonzalez. And so, they don't mind that he wears a sombrero. Like, they give sombreros that you could just at bars here. They have sombreros in the back you could just wear if you ask nicely. And so I think generally there's this idea around the world that's not really understood by people like me and Micah trying to speak for other cultures. That they just like being noticed and acknowledged. That's like my wife doesn't get mad at, she's Russian. She doesn't get mad at characters like Heavy Weapons Guy. She's just like, oh, hey, he said Horoshof, it's cool. Cause so many movies are so American. The film industry is a propaganda campaign to make America look cooler.
Yeah.
That's true. That's factual. The depictions of Mexico in movies are pretty negative usually. So if I tell other Americans that I'm moving to Mexico, they're like, okay, be careful. But when I lived in the Republic of Georgia, in Eastern Europe on the Turkish border, and I told people I'm from New York City, they're like, what are you doing here? Why did you move? That's the place from the movies. So the function of cinema, which was invented in the United States, is to make America the place from the movies and to kind of other foreign countries so that Americans don't leave no matter how repressive the politics get. This is all factual and correct. I'm sorry if you didn't ever think about these things before to blow your mind like that. I'm not going to apologize too much, though, because it's true. Yeah. And so, we as Americans think of representations of different regions in a very American-centric way. I'm from New York City, and so when a movie in New York City has an alleyway in it, which doesn't make sense for grid structure, I'm like, okay, the writer doesn't live in New York City, that's fine. Because in grid structure, the way New York City's made, there's no between buildings outside of just streets. And so there are no alleyways in New York City. There's 4 alleyways in New York City. 3 are privately owned. So anytime a movie is actually shot in New York City, if there is an alleyway scene, it is all the same alleyway because it's the only one that's public property in all of New York City. And so, like, as Americans, we look for things like that. That's not necessarily how people from underrepresented countries in film view depictions of their culture.
Yeah.
They're kind
I
of
guess
like...
that'll make sense.
Yeah, they're kind of a little more like... And again, I'm not trying to speak for them. If anyone has a different view of this, please let me know, because I am a white person living in Mexico, but I'm also a world traveler, and so I can just speak from what my observation has been and then be corrected later. It seems like there was a one movie shot in Batumi where I was living in Georgia, but it was directed by Orson Welles. And so, like, when I was at a film class / English study group where we watched films and discussed them to learn English, and then I helped because I was there as a native speaker. When I was part of that, when they found out that Orson Welles once shot a movie in Batumi, they were all like, "Oh, wow! Oh my God!" Because he's this important American filmmaker, and this is our little place that no one knows about. And so that's... If that is a thing that I'm not just misinterpreting as a white person, a predominantly white person, I'm not really white passing. I don't know what to say. I'm a quarter Swedish. I am a white person, but I also have Middle Eastern appearance because of my Jewish genetics. It's not that relevant. But as a, let's say, non-indigenous person, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be like, I see you guys, you got cool shit going on. I did some research, and here's what I thought was cool about it. And thus far, Peruvians have appreciated that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about this movie, I don't think. If you guys have any more questions, or we could start wrapping up. If you guys want to just take a second, we could have dead air that Micah could edit out later and think of questions, or we could just wrap it up to you guys.
Let's see. This is clearly a passion project from the both of you and pretty much everyone who worked on this, and I'm glad that we're starting to see the fruits of your labor. We'll see how the full thing turns out, but so far it looks promising.
Las frutas de mi trabajo. Sí.
I can clearly see just so much passion and heart and just this project from everyone who was credited, who worked on it, from writing, music, voice acting, including you and Micah. Yeah, you guys are really showing how much this like project means a lot, and I'm happy to see at least it coming into reality, and hopefully, yeah, I can't wait to see plenty of more of the upcoming parts of it.
Yeah, I said I approached the writing from the... Well, thank you, first of all. I said I approached the writing from my obsession has been TV writing, which is getting your own sense of humor in, but in a way that blends into the general franchise's sense of humor. That's something I'm obsessed with. Micah came from a similar but different camp, where Micah believes the hatred towards franchises is unfounded. You have you've talked on this a lot. What your thoughts on why people like sequels and how it is still possible to make good ones? What do you want to talk on that? Because you put this into words beautifully many times.
So people like, if I can remember correctly what I said, people like familiarity, but they also don't want the exact same thing. So the challenge is, how do you make something that feels familiar but different? And I did.
And you said that people just like the stories they like and like seeing characters again, like they'd like seeing a friend again.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, sorry. I was trying to remember.
it's like the general public perception of Krunk's New Groove, of Emperor's New School is, did we really need this? The first movie was great. Why are you burying your legacy, Disney? And that's not how you see them.
Yeah.
You see them as like, if people like Krunk, they should get an opportunity to hang out with him again.
Yeah.
And you talk about familiar but different. That was what the Road 2 movies were. That was the way sequels worked in Hollywood, is like, you can't expect everyone to see every film. So like, what every Road 2 movie is just kind of like starting over. Here is a new movie about two chuckle fucks coming to a foreign country, you know?
So is it kind of like episodic, but in like sequel form?
It's
From what
episodic.
I understand about the Road 2 series, yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
episodic.
yeah.
And that's, you know, what Micah was talking about and what I'm talking about coming in as someone who just loves TV writers, loves watching clips of writers' rooms, listening to TV commentaries, is like, I don't think it's that hard to just work with someone else's sandbox. I think, you know, every successful TV show is evidence that that works. That's a system that functions and you can do. And yeah, there's sorry, I had something. Now I lost it.
You're good. Well, I would say that both. Oh, sorry.
No, I'll go on.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that both you and Micah did create something, not just being familiar with like old favorite characters, but also a original story to pitch as well, you know. So it's creating this balance that I feel like if you have a lot of people critique that every new thing now, or at least with sequels and franchises, that nothing's original anymore, which is not true. There is originality even in familiar things and non-familiar things. You can find a balance between that.
And in 1989, both Back to the Future 2 and Ghostbusters 2 came out, and there are clips of from Roger and Ebert. No, not Roger and Ebert. Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert, of them commenting on Ghostbusters 2, saying, is this all movies are now? Are we just going to get sequels to the same thing we already liked, replaying the hits forever? And the fact that they were saying that in 1989, or there's the jokes about Rocky having too many sequels in Spaceballs, 1987.
Yep.
Rocky 5.
Speaking of Back to the Future 2, it also has a joke about sequels.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it does.
I mean,
So
Back to the
it's
Future.
fake.
Back to the Future 2 is also a meta commentary on sequels, because
Yeah.
they're literally going back to the original film and showing the same scenes again. Not like figuratively, like Ghostbusters starts with them having been disgraced between movies so they can become Ghostbusters again so the movie can have the same plot beats. But Back to the Future 2 is them time-traveling Ghost of Christmas Past style and just literally fucking watching the first movie happen in front of them, which is a joke.
I would love to bring up a less talked about movie that I know a lot of people like and a lot of people don't like, that is a similar approach. Lion King 1.5.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is a good example.
I think Lion King 2 is also pretty good.
It is.
Yeah.
I think both of them do what I said, with the way to pay a tribute to an artist is not to just copy their style, but to take different influence from their influences.
Yeah.
Over the Garden Wall is a stylistic tribute to movies of the animation of the 20s to 40s, but beyond that, took so much influence from like greeting cards from the 1800s, because those were a big influence on the look of Snow White, on the look of
pretty
Yeah,
much
like
dedicating like the love for Rubber Hose cartoons and as well as old like music of like ragtime and stuff like that from the 30s and 20s.
Right. Well,
and
then
You
also
know,
pulling in from the 1800s culture
that
that
too, that too,
influenced that
that
stuff.
too.
and on the
Yeah.
subject of stuff that
No, wait,
takes
sorry. I was gonna say on. So that is why the Lion King sequels work, because the original Lion King was Hamlet.
yes,
So doing Romeo and Juliet for the sequel, and then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard for
rest in
the.
peace.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Fuck that guy a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he had. I think he was I don't know, anti-vaxxer or something. You know, it's
Oh boy.
anyone who's old enough is just getting brainwashing without the internet to research it.
Yeah.
At this
yeah,
point,
yeah.
yeah, no, yeah. So no, I think what the Lion King sequels did is why those are a little more respected than the other ones. Is like, what else can we do with what is adjacent enough to the Hamlet sandbox that it would feel like we're artists pulling from the same influence rather than just replaying the hits. This is a little replaying the hits. I mean, they literally, like you were saying, Back to the Future 2 it a little bit and watch the first movie happen, but that's a joke.
Yes.
Yeah, I like stories. I like writing. I like characters. I like
That's why I like movies, because I like all of those all above too.
And I like, in a way that a lot of artists in my field don't, I like anonymity. That's what doing the drag character in these podcast appearances is about. I like the idea of existing to service the work, not to service my own ego. I know that's weird to say after I rambled about what a genius I am for an hour or two. But, no, I've always envied voice actors and TV writers because Conan O'Brien was not famous for writing The Simpsons. Like, when he moved to become a talk show host, the public opinion was, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
The Monorail is the only episode he's the sole credited writer for, is a fantastic fucking episode. And there's definitely, if you know Conan O'Brien's sense of humor, you could definitely feel it while watching that. But it also is not about elevating the Conan O'Brien brand. It is about elevating the Simpsons brand.
Yeah.
It still says created by Matt Groening in the theme song. It's still these characters. And like, Homer and Marge versing the monorail, and Bart and Lisa are very in character in that episode. So it still services the Simpsons brand, while if you know Conan being like, oh, he definitely wrote that one.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. I think that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way to engage with the world and art, is to say, like, it's like you drew Shelby a picture of Melina and Della Duck for Christmas. It's like doing that for the world, is like, I know you like these characters, here you go. I've always felt it as like Conan O'Brien giving the people who has the potential to be, you know, the spotlight figure himself, but this is him putting his own image and ego aside and being like, you guys like Marge? Here she is versing a monorail. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
do you have any way you end these? Do we say, you just listened to an episode of the Emperor's New Podcast. If you want to find more of our episodes, that's on the same feed you're on right now.
If nobody else has any questions or anything, I think it's time to get your cords out and start plugging.
Yeah, I think we're all good as far as it is.
Yeah, I've got nothing besides a Discord thing. So if you're on the
Yeah.
channel KRT server, feel free to say hello, I guess. I'm under Pixar Princess on there.
I was on that podcast twice.
Yeah. I guess I have things to plug.
Go for it.
If there's
Please.
an order, okay.
No, the order is you. Do it.
Oh, okay.
This
I have a
whole
couple
episode's been
guests.
about plugging me and Micah. It's your time to shine. That was ironic to interrupt you while saying that. I'm sorry, that was an accident.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't really do as much, but I have things. You could find me on Instagram. I have my account, Sophers, all lowercase, period between Soph and Sophers. That is my main account. I usually post stuff with my real life stuff, but also I am active with doing stuff on Instagram stories, sharing art, whatever, and then or just any videos. And then I have my art, and then I have an art account on Instagram, Soph Sketch a Lot, all lowercase underscore. Soph underscore sketch underscore a lot, and that's where I am pretty much posting all of my art on there. I have been doing my best to be more active with it lately, so yeah, I guess. And then I also have my letterbox where I review movies and stuff and logs, so you can find me on with Sophie Hurtado. Um, and yeah, I review and log movies. At the moment, I'm not as like super active, but I'm doing my best to. It's just like busy life and stuff.
What's the movie you're most hyper fixated on at this moment? Like if I demanded that you info dump about a movie, which would be the first one you'd think to do it of?
Man, let's see. There's a couple.
I'm sorry. I love movies as well.
Yeah.
All of those links will be in the description if you want to check out Soph's stuff. I am. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Am I done? I don't remember.
You can continue if you want.
Oh no, you're good. I have a lot. Yeah. I guess I also have a Blue Sky, but I don't go on there much. So, but I guess I also have a Discord as well. I'm also active in the KRT server a lot. So my name's Sophers, so you can find me on there and chat, whatever. I guess that's it.
All right, I am Charlotte Driftwood, thespian, lesbian, pirate, drag queen. I just moved to a new YouTube channel. It's really gonna need help.
Yeah,
getting
that's
a little.
That's where Road to Kuzcotopia.
Right, it's the same one Road to Kuzcotopia is on. Please, if you can, check out Road to Kuzcotopia and check out any of the other videos on that channel, just because I need the boost in the algorithm, because I don't got I'm really happy starting from scratch. It's improved my mood in a way not even medication could, or therapy. I don't like capitalism and I love art, so like being on a channel where I'm just posting what I want to post and don't have to worry about like not making enough money because my videos are flopping has been like such a relief. But also like eventually I would like to make money, being myself and making what I want to make. And so please check out that channel. We have Road to Kuzcotopia on it. We have a dub of the beatboxing puppy movie that we did in collaboration with Jan Measley. We do Delicious in Real Time. We post highlight reels every week there, which is Dungeon Meshi, Delicious in Dungeon, improv dubs where we mute the footage, assign characters. And I'm Marcel. And of course, coming in September, my passion project, Charlotte Driftwood's The Mutiny at Keeley Hall. You're probably not going to remember that you listened to this podcast come September, so please join my notification Discord to get updated on when I have a new podcast, when I make new videos, when I do new live streams. I have a very important live stream coming up March 17th. You could RSVP to that in my Discord or just follow the Twitch. I am debuting this character that I play on podcasts now, Charlotte Driftwood, visually. Right now, that won't be in full drag myself because I don't own money, but we're going to have my wife makes VTuber models for a living, so we're going to have a VTuber of the ideal of what the Charlotte Driftwood character would look like, and that's finally hitting the world. My birthday, March 17th. URL that is currently twitch.tv Well, excuse me, but we're going to change to twitch.tv/pirate drag queen. I would really like to not be punished for being myself any longer, so please come to my coming out stream if you can.
Will do. And then also, I think I remember you did some snippets of the Book of Bill. Is that a project you're still working on?
Yes, that channel, the 100K views, 100K subscribers channel, has been changed to audiobooks by a drag queen, because if the algorithm only wants me to be able to post Gravity Falls books there, I love reading to children. That is actually a lifelong passion, and I'm done being annoyed about that. I could just post everything else to another channel. So yeah, part of the delay was getting this rebrand done, but now that channel is properly labeled as audiobooks by a drag queen, part 1 of the Book of Bill audiobook will be coming out March 10th, a week before my drag debut stream.
Mario Day.
Yeah, that's true. On Mario Day, as a way to...
Yay.
Both because, blind and dyslexic Gravity Falls fans deserve the Book of Bill as much as the rest of us, and because I want to advertise the drag debut stream. To the sighted, obviously. Not every viewer is going to be blind and dyslexic, and it'd be weird to be like, but now this character I'm doing in voice is displaying visually on a video that I did say was geared towards blind people, but we both know most of the viewers aren't going to be blind.
Yeah. All right. I don't have much else to plug that hasn't already been plugged.
You should listen to the episode of Luke Ski's podcast that Micah.
Yeah, I was on Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff podcast, the November.
You got flown out to California for it.
Well, really, I flew down to California to see the Emperor's New Groove at El Capitan. That's where I met Marla, actually.
Hello.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked all about the screening that we went to on Luke's podcast, and I also have my friend Otterly Noah, who's also a YouTuber, was with me, so he guessed it as well. So check that out. There's lots of noise in the background because it was recorded in a deli, but
yeah, no, that's no. There's lots of ASMR and ambience in the background. You mean?
Yeah. So check that out. That's most of the podcast places I believe should have that. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm going to say goodbye to the lady now.